we're in Dubai. My children are going to a top school in Dubai. Even my eldest has been selected as part of the gifted and talented program for computing in his school. But genuinely, I feel that the only help he's getting in this area is from code school.
So let's start. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My family lives in Dubai and we have 3 children. I'm working from home and expect that my children are very independent with what they do because I'm busy. My background is in engineering. And so I've always sort of had that view on education for my children, that STEM should be integrated from an early age. I'm very active in my children's lives, like most of us mothers. And because all 3 of them are very different, I find it really challenging to keep up with them.
You have 3, so you're managing 3 schedules. And so how do you do it?
I'm sure you remember that in the early days, I was assisting the children to get online. But now at this stage, there's such familiarity and such willingness on the children's part to participate that it's very easy for me now. It's simply an expectation for them, and that they're very happy to move forward with. They're very happy on Sundays that coding happens, or if it's Saturday, it's part of the weekend. It's fun for them.
No, why coding? Do you think it was your engineering background, and maybe you had some exposure to it already? Is that why you thought of coding, or was it something else?
Initially, because we signed up for a camp to begin with, like I said, we were very pleasantly surprised that especially our eldest was extremely interested and active online in a group setting with children he'd never met in person, with an instructor he'd never met in person. And yet he was fully engaged, fully interested because of the subject matter. If you relate it to Minecraft, or you relate it to Roblox, or even games on Scratch or Bitsbox, this really captivated him. So actually, as a family, we felt that after that point, we had no choice really but to allow him to continue to flourish in this area where on a weekly basis we could dedicate the time. And I feel for children, just like us as adults, if I dedicate time to my meetings and my business, we just put it in the schedule that the children have their 1-hour coding lesson. It's in the family's Outlook calendar. The children are empowered to log on their own. The children are ready to log into for instance, Scratch, or Asad is coding at a higher level now. He's able to open up his own laptop, set up his work area, and he feels like he's attending his very own meeting with his very own instructor.
It's such an interesting perspective. I love this idea of the kids thinking that they're doing their own meeting. That's such a fantastic approach. I think that's actually very, very interesting. So you have.
Sorry, I just want to add, if I can add, sorry, just onto that. It genuinely works that way, that they are looking forward to their lesson, where they have a relationship with their instructor and they're looking forward to that activity. So it's not like, like other lessons, they might groan when it's time to log on for, let's see, if it's tutoring, or if it's even sometimes my children will complain if it's a sports activity because we need to leave the house. We need to, get ready and bring the belongings or send them off with someone else. And it might take 3 hours, whereas coding, it's accessible at home and they're fully ready within 5 minutes, as long as you empower them to have that ability to log on. And that, like I said, that independence comes quite naturally when they're excited to see their instructor.
what have you noticed? Like, what has coding brought out in your kids?
Yeah, well, all of the children are different, and I'm sure you find this with all of your students. So they have their own individual interests. For instance, with my eldest, we ended up with a catalog of games related to flags and money and gaming. So he was able to sort of develop and really flush out his interest through coding. Whereas girls, or my daughter in particular, she's able to express herself artistically and really make the games fun, and she's ready to play them afterwards. She's ready to explain to us why she chose to draw her sprite instead of using one from the regular catalog. I suppose that would be a difference between boys and girls, at least in our household, that their interests lie in different areas. And it's just so natural to include that in coding.
What advice would you have for parents who want to enroll their children into a STEM and coding or coding class and don't quite know much about it?
Honestly, you will be amazed as a parent to see how quickly they grow and they start producing more complicated things within this umbrella of having fun. I would say don't be confused or don't be mistaken that whilst the kids are having fun, that they're not learning, because it's actually the best way to get them to continue to learn. My children ask for coding. When's my next coding lesson? Or please, I don't want to miss coding. Obviously, you can check with the instructors if your child's doing okay. And at the end of the month, you do get a summary from the instructor so that you can cross-check with what you understand from how the lessons are going for the child. But to me, it's very obvious to see that each week they're producing something that almost tricks them into learning because it's fun.
All right. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you. Lots of love to your family.
All the
Bye.
best.